Please bet on football games.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Please Bet on Football Games podcast. I am your host, Alex, here with the on-air talent, Joe. How's it going today?
It's been a fucking day, and we are deplatformed mere seconds in, and I'm not editing it. I might. Depends how I feel. But you're going to get a real amped up, energetic pod today, boys. And possibly two girls who may listen according to Spotify.
You made it half a sentence.
No, I made it one word. It was my second word. And as it came out of my mouth, I thought, should I stop myself? And then I thought, no, we're going to do it anyway. I haven't even been online today, so I haven't even been pissed off by all the people in my comments. This is just pure work fury.
The best kind.
Oh, I'm feeling good.
All right, well, we are back this week talking about season win total projections. This week, we are wrapping up with the Wests.
Hell yeah. Our annual tradition of saving the AFC and NFC West for last because they're kind of not that interesting.
Yeah,
this
one will...
bias?
Yeah, maybe. But it's definitely going to be a much quicker podcast than the Norths.
We should have recorded tomorrow when I'm in California so I could tell you if it's just an East Coast bias or if the West is actually kind of boring.
I mean,
but alas, we can't.
We're not even from the East Coast.
I'm from the middle.
Yeah, mostly same.
People in California call Illinois and Ohio the East Coast. I'm not joking.
I mean, I'm not particularly shocked because I feel like people have no bearing of like the other coast. Because people in Colorado have said the same thing. People in Arizona have said the same thing.
Well, that kind of...
like, oh yeah, Ohio,
you're frustrating my anti-California agenda, and I don't like it. So let's bitch about the Oakland Raiders.
First up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders with a win total projection of 6.5.
Now, first of all, this feels basically right to me.
Yeah.
Should we blue ball the listeners and talk about the Hall of Fame game instead? Because I have half a mind to. I kind of want chaos today.
We can talk about whatever we want, Joe.
Let's talk about what I want, because I made my first bet of the NFL season.
Exciting. What'd you make?
I wagered on the Detroit Lions. News broke today that the Chargers are not going to play Taylor Heineke or Justin Herbert. They're going straight to Trey Lance to start the game, and then they will switch to DJ Uiagalelei. Look at me go. Who I thought he was going to be so good when he was a freshman at Clemson because he's built like Jamarcus Russell, but it turns out he also plays like Jamarcus Russell. Yikes.
On codeine.
Codeine.
Because Jamarcus Russell, when not on codeine, was a great college player.
See, that was before I really watched any football other than like Bears games, so I have no idea.
At least that's how I remember it. I don't think I've ever really watched him play either, but he was supposed to be generational.
They all are. Every year somebody's supposed to be generational, and it turns out they're actually terrible. Although Bears fans are really excited because Caleb Williams completed one single finger up deep pass today at practice, and now they're sure that actually he's the best. Sometimes I'm embarrassed to love my city as much as I do.
If you actually weigh a city by their sports fans, you're going to think everywhere is the worst place in the world.
We're not going to get into my feelings about local council, or else I was about to go on another tirade, which unfortunately would have been pointed pretty squarely at the Washington Commanders. We don't need to rile them up. But we're on a tangent of a tangent. Hall of Fame game. Chargers are not playing most of their starters. They're not playing most of their backups. The Lions will probably also bench people, but it can't be worse. And if it comes down to Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen versus Trey Lance and DJ Uiagalelei, I'm taking Kyle Allen and Hendon Hooker. Additionally, while Jim Harbaugh has a reputation as like a tough guy in the preseason, he doesn't seem to share his brother's like desire to win. Whereas Dan Campbell kind of has shown that he's going to fucking win if he can. And if it comes down to smash mouth football, the Lions just have way better depth. Like, think about it this way. All the Lions backups, they were starters on a playoff team last year due to injuries. So it was a toss-up 50-50 for me, but the news breaking that the Chargers are phoning it in tells me I have a slight advantage to the Lions, and I got them at -107. So if the line's gone crazy, and it may have, and it's down to like -150, yeah, you might have to pass. But yeah, it's -130 now, which I'd still take. So yeah, there's a preseason bet for you guys. We're not going to count it for the records, but hey, I just broke down a game.
It's like people in the desert. They don't need gallons of water. Give them a couple drops. They'll be thrilled. That's us with preseason football.
Speak of drops and the desert, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Well done.
Look, the big addition's Geno Smith. And I'm torn. Geno is better than the casual fan thinks, but he's worse than Twitter thinks. Because, like, the Steven Ruizes, the Ben Solaks, even the Nate Tices, they want to chug Geno. And I'm not into that sort of thing. Speak of Christian Wilkins. Yikes. Dude, we should totally start saying no Christian instead of, never mind.
We'll just leave that one.
I'm leaving everything in. I'm not bleeping a goddamn thing. Oh no, I took his name in vain. I'll bleep that one. Yeah, Geno Smith he's a solid quarterback. He's like a very low end franchise guy. He's about the same caliber as Dak to me, where it's like slightly above the Andy Dalton line, right? Like a seasoned veteran who's going to give you consistent play, really good at a couple things as a passer, like the way that Dak throws the seam ball incredibly. Geno is really great at layering in second level throws, and he's actually got a pretty decent deep ball. Problem is Geno just tries too much shit, and his pocket awareness bounces between really, really good and just terrible. So he's a little bit more chaotic of a path to being okay. I don't think he changes a ton, right? Like, I don't think Geno Smith is going to take you from mediocre to great, but he's a huge upgrade from Gardner Minshew. Ashton Genty's awesome, but he does play running back. And I don't know how effective Ashton Genty is going to be with a very average offensive line, like the definition of average across the board. DJ Glaze is a really good name, though.
Yeah, that's a top tier name.
Right tackle DJ Glaze sounds like a Zoomer. That's kind of perverted, though. I don't know. It sounds like something a Zoomer would say a sex act is called.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like
Alex Kappa has been like the definition of replacement level basically since he left Tampa Bay. Jackson Powers Johnson's a good center. Like, not great, but he's like a B to B plus guy. Dylan Parham's like a B to B minus guard. And Colton Miller's another guy who's kind of like Geno Smith in that he's really inconsistent. Like, he's good. He's very talented, but sometimes he just does dumb shit. And then their wide receivers, like, boy, very appropriate that Vegas is gambling the way they are. Because Dante Thornton is 6'5" and runs like the wind. But we don't know if he can move, like, do anything but run straight lines. Because at Tennessee, all they did was like, hey, Dante, straight line. And Nico Yamaliva, and he did, is really bad at throwing the deep ball because he just puts no arc on it. So it was kind of hard to find opportunities for Dante Thornton to thrive. And Joe Milton, though he can throw the deep ball, doesn't know where it's going. So again, hard to really feed Dante Thornton, but he's got all the talent in the world. And at least as a sacrificial X, like, you can tell Dante Thornton, like, yo, just go run deep, make him cover you. And then that opens up things beneath. And Jacoby Myers is a good slot. Trey Tucker is low-key wicked athletic, and I think he could be something eventually. I think it's kind of funny that they drafted Jack Besh 2 rounds ahead of Dante Thornton and don't really have a plan for what the fuck to do with him because he's 6 foot and slow as hell.
How does that player go in the second round?
Well, he's productive, and he's got incredible hands, and he's really strong. So, like, the comp for him was Puka Nacua, because Puka is low-key shorter than you think, too. But he's just so strong and has such good ball skills, and he's so smart, right? Like, it works.
Mm-hmm.
So Jack Besh is kind of the same, but he needs to be out of the slot, and I don't know. I don't think he's as smart. He's useful, and I see the vision, but, like, it's telling that Dante Thornton's already fucking starting over him. I think Jack Besh will be a replacement for Jacoby Myers in a year or two, but yeah, they overdrafted him.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this Raiders offense?
I mean, I feel like they actually have some studs, though. Like, yeah, the wide receiver room is not very good. The offensive line is average. But, like, Brock Bowers is a star.
Shit. I totally forgot the tight ends.
I think Genty is a star.
Genty's a star. He's so good.
So, like, they have 2 really good, like, possibly best at their position players.
But they're at positions that don't matter that much.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why this isn't a good offense, but I still think that they'll be a little surprising. Like, yeah, Geno's going to throw picks and he's going to have to, play kind of well, but they should be able to run at least decent. Because even with not that great of an offensive line, with how good he is, I think it'll make a difference. Like, I think an offensive line, if they're really good or really bad, can like tank or elevate someone beyond what they are. But like this is an average offensive line. I think it'll give him plenty of room to just go be a superstar. And then Brock Bowers can just help you get the ball moving. Like I don't think they're going to be an explosive offense, but I think they're going to move.
That's part of what I struggle with is like, first of all, Geno Smith likes to throw outside the numbers. It's just kind of always been what he's been. He's not a slot heavy kind of guy. And maybe that's partially the offense that he ran in Seattle, but it's also just a little bit that Geno likes to try shit. And Brock Bowers is going to operate out of the slot, right? Like we could check the PFF data. We have the technology, by which I mean I accidentally renewed my subscription that I didn't mean to. Are you laughing that when I typed in P, Pornhub came up? Pull out your phone, Alex. Let's see.
I was just laughing at the idea of you putting the screen recording in. And like, you know, the odds that anyone sees it are very low, but there's going to be like one person that sees it and is like, what the fuck?
Now I'm curious if there was like more to the link.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I'm not ashamed of a goddamn thing. It's just a tasty treat.
All right, how much was Brock Bowers in the slot?
54%, actually 55% of his reps came out of the slot last year, and only 26% came as an inline tight end. So the man's a motherfucking wide receiver. He's also 6'3", which is pretty small for a tight end. He's really good. Don't get me wrong, but he's not Gronk, right? It's a totally different thing. He's more Travis Kelce, but not quite. Look, first of all, Travis Kelce's how tall? 6'6"?
I think he's 6'5", 6'4", 6'5".
Okay, so Travis Kelce's a little bigger. And in his day, Travis Kelce could legitimately just play X. Whereas I don't think Bowers has quite that movement. He's really good, but he's not a focal point, in my opinion. And so if you're building your offense out of a really good running back and a good but not very explosive tight end who actually plays more wide receiver, suddenly you are Ohio State, but playing against teams with somewhat similar rosters. And oh, by the way, your offensive coordinator is Chip Kelly, who hasn't done anything really impressive on offense in a few years, in my opinion. Dude, at Ohio State, and like, you know, no hate, because when you've got way better players, halfback dive's the best, most consistent play, but it was a lot of just running up the middle.
I mean, to an extent, it makes sense when the quarterback is the weakest part of those teams.
And plus, your offensive line is man for man better than every defensive line in the nation by miles. So just
and they had two really good running backs.
Yeah, I mean, like, it made sense for what they were.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, like, I don't think it's going to be a good offense, but I think that they'll be able to chew clock. They'll still be able to be somewhat productive because they do have star players. Geno can create a little bit beyond his means. It's just he also can kind of take away. And like the wide receiver room isn't explosive, but they've got at least a couple guys that have played in the NFL and been at least somewhat productive. So, okay offense, not exciting, but I don't know, I think they'll be all right. Like they'll be worse than league average, but I think in that realm.
I think they might even be like straight up league average. Part of what I worry about is the defense. Christian Wilkins has grabbed his last nutsack, and I am trying desperately to find out what exactly he did to get kicked off the team, because apparently it was more than kissing a guy on the forehead.
Yeah, I saw Florio said that was not the story he heard.
Yeah, and I've heard that sentiment echoed from multiple people who are in the know. So once again, their entire defensive line is Max Crosby can do something, because Tyree Wilson, remember when Tyree Wilson went like 5th overall and I said he's fucking terrible, doesn't belong in the league, and then people were like, no, he's so big, and I was like, yeah, but he needs to move to do things. He's already a backup. He'll be out of the league in 2 years. Yeah, how fucking bad at football you have to be 6'5" with a 7-foot wingspan and terrible at defensive end.
I mean, you could just be slow.
That's all he is. He's super slow, and frankly, he's not as powerful as he should be for that size. Yeah, and then so Malcolm Kuntz is starting over him. That's a C player. Lecky Fotu and Adam Butler are starting at defensive tackle. Those are C players, if that. That's a bad they've managed a bad defensive line with a top 6 defensive end in the league. That's tough to do.
Yeah, it's really tough to do.
It hurts that their second best defensive player keeps on inappropriately touching men.
Allegedly.
No, I've seen it on national television. Like, I remember when we were in college and he tackled, or not even tackled. It was the OSU game, and he just randomly like fingered a guy's butt cheeks and then grabbed his penis and sack.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why is nobody else freaking out? And everybody in the annex house was like, yeah, I guess that's kind of weird. And I was like, no, it's super weird. He wasn't in this play. He just walked up, pinched an ass cheek, fingered the cheeks, and then grabbed some penis and balls and walked away. Like petting a puppy. Like, oh, it's a puppy. I just want to pet it real quick and I'm going to walk away. Yo, gay shit notwithstanding. Like, live your truth. That's weird either way.
Yeah, and I mean, just being in a football locker room where it's like the most macho environment,
Probably
I
not that
imagine
receptive.
yeah, I imagine that, you might piss off some people.
Counterpoint, to do something that clearly exceeds the bounds of grab ass and dives into the deep, deep pool of that's ridiculously, irresponsibly, aggressively homosexual, is tough to do.
Well, I
And
mean,
it
at that
seems that
point,
he has done
it's
it.
just sexual assault or sexual harassment. Like,
Well, yeah, no, like, dude, the man got reported to HR by an NFL football player.
we have spent so much time on the Raiders.
Well, with superstar starters like Jeremy Chin and Isaiah Polamau and Darnay Holmes pretty good. Okay, look, this whole defense is made of dog shit. Their linebackers, Elandon Roberts and Jermaine Pratt. What year is it? Not 2025, apparently. Devin White, still somehow in the league. Terrible, but really fast, but he needs to be a defensive end. Darian Porter is super fast out of Iowa State. The man doesn't know how to play football. He's like 6'3" and super duper fucking fast. He's like the new Tariq Woolen, except whereas Tariq Woolen like is occasionally really good, Darian Porter is always lost and dumb. Darnay Holmes is pretty good in the slot, and I still absolutely unequivocally believe in Eric Stokes.
Yep.
Please, Patrick Graham, for the first time in the history of mankind, let Eric Stokes play man fucking coverage. He's so sticky, it will work.
And
But
just stay healthy.
if Eric Stokes is the superstar that I think he can be, and Max Crosby continues to be a superstar, this defense sucks penis, kind of like its former employee, and the offense is average. This is a below average team with below average coaching. 6.5 wins feels oh so spot on.
Yeah, and I think the other issue with having a bad defense like that is they're going to need explosive plays, and their offense is not designed for explosive plays.
Well, if Dante Thornton can,
That's
if
true.
he can be Megatron, which he could be, which is why I understand them making the gamble. But if he's not, oh fuck.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with you. Below average team. Poor Pete Carroll.
Fuck that. Good for
Go
Pete
home to
Carroll
your
does not
family.
deserve a job. He chose this.
I know. I'm more mean poor Pete Carroll that he felt compelled to take this job
Yeah, there must be a lot of other things going wrong in his life that he wants this.
because he's like old enough to be president.
Not quite, which is, oh boy,
That's what he was like in his late 70s.
a wave of sadness just hit me square in the butthole and ballsack. And then it whispered in my ear that its name is Christian Wilkins and did the splits. Next team.
Next up,
Why are you laughing, Alex? Announce
we
the next
have the
team.
Denver Broncos with a win total projection of 9.5.
The audience doesn't know that we stopped recording in between teams, and I'm going to start saying terrible and inappropriate things during that time. Speaking of terrible and inappropriate things, Bo Nix is still the quarterback of the Broncos, and somehow Broncos fans have convinced themselves that he's the fucking truth. But the truth is not within them. They have been deceived. Bo Nix did actually get a lot better as the year went on last year, but he started off so goddamn terrible. It's really hard for me to forgive him. Look, I talk a lot about how quarterbacks never actually improve, but I think Bo Nix might be the outlier.
Which is insane because he played for 8 years in college.
It's the weirdest thing. At Auburn, he was terrible and had no arm. And then he got to Oregon and he looked decent and his arm was okay. And every once in a while he'd uncork one and you'd be like, wait a second, does he have an arm? And then during the draft process, he kind of loosened up his throwing motion a little bit. It stopped looking so rigid and robotic. And suddenly he's got a fucking arm. Like he can legitimately bomb the ball. Like he's still a bit of a pussy. He still has no deep accuracy, amongst the very worst in the league last year in deep accuracy. But the capability's there, and the guy just keeps improving. Like, if you were going to tell me that he figures it out and continues to ascend, I wouldn't be shocked anymore. That being said, I still think he's a very average at best quarterback in an offense that strangles explosion. kind of like me when I'm on that link. Yes, yes. I'm somehow not jeopardizing my career, but making good dirty jokes. You do it too. As for wide receivers, the Broncos for years have just been stockpiling like guys I love. Cortland Sutton, nobody's ever going to talk about him. The guy's almost 30 years old. Nobody's ever started talking about him. They probably never will. Kind of a shame.
He just got a big deal too, and still no one's talking about him.
Yeah, no. Like Cortland Sutton, just super quietly, a perfect prototype X. Marvin Mims, we love him. He's fast as hell. We love fast as hell. Troy Franklin, we like him. He's fast as hell. We like fast as hell. Devon Vele came out of nowhere last year as a 7th round rookie, and he's just like really reliable and consistent. Gives me lots of Van Jefferson vibes. But I mean, behind him, they've got dudes who have, I don't want to say like surprised, but like guys who have been interesting elsewhere. Like Trent Sherfield, he had a minute there where it looked like he could be something. Michael Bandy, every time he would touch the ball in LA, you thought like, he's got a little spring to his step for a bald white boy. So I don't know. Their wide receivers are just super interesting to me, even though they're not like great. I wouldn't have got rid of Jerry Jeudy. Shout out Jew, but people make mistakes. As for the offensive line, Mike McGlinchey's B+, A- guy, probably more B+, especially at this day and age. Quinn Meinertz is an A- guy. I love Quinn Meinertz. Wisconsin Whitewater. If you know, you know. I like Ben Powers more than most. I think he's a legitimate starter. And Garrett Bowles is pretty good in his own right. Just hands of stone, right? And in the good way, not the wide receiver way. He touches you, it hurts. Luke Wattenberg, I'm not going to pretend I know a ton. PFF tells me that I should think he's average, so I guess I will. We'll find out this year. I think the Broncos actually kind of downgraded at running back. I don't think J.K. Dobbins has it anymore. I think that once upon a time, J.K. Dobbins was going to be a really good running back, and then 3 dead ACLs later, the man has more corpses in him than John Wayne Gacy's basement.
Didn't he tear his Achilles too?
Probably.
I thought that was one of them. Was he tore his knee twice and then he tore his Achilles? It's just like,
if there is a
he's fine now,
connective
but not the
tissue,
worst one.
if there is a connective tissue to tear, the motherfucker been through it like toilet paper. I don't think J.K. Dobbins has it anymore, and frankly, I think that who's the guy they had out of UNC? Fuck, I think he's with Dallas now. Javonte Williams,
I think.
I liked him. I thought that he just needed a better chance. I know he was hurt all the time too, but not the way J.K. Dobbins is. The straw that obviously stirs the drink is Michael Burton, the fullback. Just kidding. I like Evan Ingram, and I think Evan Ingram's going to actually really produce in this offense. Evan Ingram is a lot of a wide receiver, not a lot of a tight end, but he will play that big slot. He will play the tight end position, and Sean Payton loves to spam short passes to tight ends, especially in the red zone. So if you want a guy who's just going to vulture touchdowns, Evan Ingram's a pretty good fantasy tight end this year. But I think this Broncos team is going to be almost identical to last year on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't even really change that much.
No, they really didn't. And like,
very much the same roster.
That said, they did get better on defense. So like they have Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bones Benito, as their clones of each other edge rushers. And they're both just like undersized speed rushers. Inside, they have Zach Allen and Jonathan Franklin Myers, who are both like decent players. They add Dre Greenlaw to pair with Alex Singleton. That's pretty good interior linebackers. They're both getting up there in age. Mobility is not really their strong suit anymore the way it used to be. But those are both, like, at the very least, really smart guys. Alex Singleton, former CFL standout. The secondary is just, dude, Pat Surtain, A to A+ player. We know this. Talanoa Huafonga, crazy good box safety coming off injury. So smart, so violent, actual range, can play free safety, but you don't want him to. And that's plenty fine because the homie, Brandon Jones, one of my old favorites, is their free safety, and he's finally coming to his own. He is the super stud that I knew he could be. He's an A- guy. And then the question marks, if you can call them that, are Riley Moss at right corner, who I think is pretty decent, and Jade Barron at slot, who I think has the potential to be fucking sick. Like Jade Barron, very quick, very, very smart, good, good, I don't want to say ball skills, because he's not like some ball hawking Asante Samuel type, but like he gets hand on ball. He'll break some motherfuckers up. And when your biggest question mark is Riley Moss, who was kind of a draft Twitter darling a couple years ago and is like a solid B to B- corner, man, I mean, that's sick. And then, Jonathan Cooper and Nick Benito, They're liabilities in the run game. They kind of only have one move as edge rushers, and that's be faster. But that's going to work because you're going to have to really spend some time trying to get open against these corners. And Vance Joseph, he's got balls. He'll press up on you a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the defense is good. Like, it was good last year. It was really good last year, and they added a little bit. Like, it's not a completely perfect defense, but with that secondary and then just being like solid with guys that are very good at certain things, with the rest of it, it's going to be hard to score on them. I feel like they're going to end up being super similar to last year, which is they're going to be able to create offense and scheme their way into a decent amount of points. The defense is going to be suffocating. They're going to win a good amount of games in the regular season, and then once they start playing really good teams, or, as the scheme fades in the playoffs, they're going to fall apart.
Yeah,
but
it's so fun. Football is such a simple sport. Like, people turn it into so much, but it sounds reductive, but it is what it is. You know why this team's not going to go that far? Same reason the Ravens won't win the Super Bowl. When push comes to shove and everybody knows you have to pass, they can't really do it that well because Bo Nix is just not that guy. Look, at the beginning of last year, he was a saboteur. He was unplayable. He needed to go. He needed to go bad, but he got better as the year went on. And over the course of the year, at his peak, he was below mid. Like, at his best, he was... So, unless you expect some kind of crazy jump from Bo Nix into the top 10, which I don't at all, then, yeah, this is a 9 or 10 win team. And they'll be competitive as hell. If you're a Broncos fan, you'll have a decent season, but you're not doing anything. We're on market. Not very fun. Next team?
Yep. Next up,
we
have the Los Angeles Chargers with a win total projection of 9.5.
I totally thought that you fucked up because you started to say Los Angeles, and I was like, ooh, he doesn't know it's San Diego. My foibles are starting to get old enough that I no longer seem quirky and I merely seem insane and angry, and I am. So
that's how it happens.
Here's the thing about the Chargers. This is going to go downhill really quick. Justin Herbert might be the most slandered man. As a biology major at Oregon, he got a 4.0 GPA. He won a Rose Bowl. He won a Pac-12. He was projected to be the first overall pick for 2 years, and then for some random reason, his senior year, when he won the Rose Bowl, people were like, he actually sucks. He's Mitch Trubisky. And by people, I mean Brett Coleman, Kyle Krabs, basically everybody but Nate Tice. You dumb motherfucker. I knew. I loved Justin Herbert then, and I love him now. And speaking of now, all the man has done is play like a top 3 quarterback every year for his entire career. And dumbasses and like media pundits have the audacity to question whether he's in the top 10. Like, there are real people out there who are like, I don't know if I could take him over Jalen Hurts. What? Name one thing that Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow or CJ Stroud or Jaden Daniels does as good as Justin Herbert. You can't. Try. I know what you're going to think. They're better runners. No, they're fucking not. He's faster than each one of them and bigger.
I think Jalen Hurts is a stronger runner. He's better in short yardage situations.
He's definitely better in short yardage.
But
you have fun with that.
I'll admit that's a pretty limited aspect of being a good quarterback.
I also don't even know if it's true because, Justin Herbert can't push a pile, but you know what he can do that tiny Jalen Hurts can't? He can reach his 6'6" arm across the goal line over the pile.
Yeah, but I feel like teams don't really do that as much anymore because everyone's so terrified of fumbling out of the back of the end zone or just fumbling before you break the plane.
Okay, so Justin Herbert's elite as fuck. At worst, he will be a top 5 quarterback. At best, he will be the best. That's where the positivity ends. I'm going to shit all over the Chargers. Remember last year when instead of drafting a guy like, I don't know, Malik fucking Neighbors, they drafted Joe Alt, another offensive lineman? Well, now their offensive line has 4 first-round picks on it. They have 2 good offensive lines. Like, Rashawn Slater, elite. Bradley Bozeman, fine. It's like a B-, C+ guy. Zion Johnson, look, I've never been more confident that an offensive lineman was just smart enough he was going to figure it out and be a good player. And oddly enough, the problem with Zion Johnson is that he isn't smart enough to be competent. It's really blown my mind to this point. Hopefully moving into center fixes that, but I'm assuming he'll be a good center because he's too talented for it to not work. And he was a really good center at BC when he had to play there. Regardless, Mekhi Becton is a good guard, not a great one. And Joe Alt is he's a great tackle. So that's a really great offensive line. Their backup offensive line is Trey Pipkins, good tackle. Jamari Salyer, good tackle. Andre James, a center who has started in this league for years. He's a B- center. And then a bunch of young guys who fucking knows. But that's incredible. If only they had a single wide receiver worth rostering. Now, I say wide on purpose because Ladd McConkey is amazing in the slot. But you know who else is really good in the slot? Most living bodies. The slot doesn't matter because everybody can play it. If Jarvis Landry can do the thing that you do, you don't do something that hard to do. What happened to Larry Fitzgerald when he was so slow, people were begging him to retire? He couldn't play anymore. They moved him to the slot. He caught 100 balls and made 1,200 yards because the slot is cheating. Like, legitimately, it's unblockable. You can't guard the slot because the slot has 4 directions in which the slot can run, north, east, south, and west. Whereas the outside, you take away an entire direction. The boundary is a second defender at all times. Anyway, Will Dissly at your tight end? Okay, so you don't have a tight end. Tyler Conklin is your backup tight end? Wow, you really don't have a tight end. Quentin Johnson is still technically your ex. There are no words to describe the kind of malpractice and sin that it is to start Quentin Johnson on your football team on purpose. Now, I get it if something happens, if there's an injury, if you're murdered on draft night, you can't make the picks. But to walk away from the first round without a new wide receiver to replace Quentin Johnston, get ready to learn burgers, motherfucker, because you are inept. Luckily, the Chargers went out and got Omarion Hampton, running back. That's what Justin Herbert needed to not do his job. And it's not like they just paid Najee Harris a ton of money to be super fucking mid anyway. Oh, they did. And then he blew his face up with a firework. So it doesn't even matter. Sick. Enjoy the cap space that you'll open up by cutting Najee for conduct detrimental to the team, such as exploding your fucking face like the Hurt Locker. I struggle with the Omarion Hampton pick because on one hand, Omarion Hampton's a really good running back. He's very powerful. He's got decent enough athleticism, and he's got good but weird vision. You know what Omarion Hampton's really good at? Just gashing up the middle. And you know what the Chargers are going to do a lot? Just run up the fucking middle. So it's kind of that weird catch-22 where, like, Omarion Hampton's a running back. He's not that valuable. And he does the least valuable thing that running backs do, which is, like, the non-explosive run. But if you know that your dog shit offensive coordinator is going to run a high school playbook and not a good one, you might as well get the player who is best at running those dog shit plays, I guess. It's tricky. Like, Omarion Hampton is probably the best fit for this offense, but that's more an indicator that this offense has to change than anything.
Yeah, my question was going to be, do you think they throw more this year?
No.
Do you think if they did throw more this year, would they be better?
No.
That's what I was kind of at too, of like, we want Justin Herbert to be the engine because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but they just simply don't have the players and they don't seem concerned about getting the players to have a good passing game.
Well, I love that. Listen, Jim Harbaugh is a stupid motherfucker. Like, he's a very dumb man. I don't know. The thing that I don't get is that people listen to these coaches talk, and, like, if these coaches had any other occupation, the average American would come away from listening to them talk and think, oh, that's a dumb guy. But instead, because it's football, we think, that's a dumb guy, but he's a football coach. As if it's not a job that is paid millions, nay, tens of millions of dollars a year to make complex strategic decisions. You know, like a high caliber law partner. I promise you, if one of my bosses started talking like Jim Harbaugh, we would not have business. And I'd have a ton of free time, but not a lot of salary. Like none. I'd be fired. We would run out of business. So Jim Harbaugh's dumbass sees Trey Harris put up big stats at Ole Miss, and he's like, those are big numbers. He's a tall guy. We should get him. And he never really stopped to wonder, like, hey, can Trey Harris run a route? No. Was Trey Harris productive in the prior 4 years of college? Oh, no. Did Trey Harris even stay healthy this entire year and play against the good teams? Oh, no, he didn't. Almost all of his stats were against, like, Stephen F. Austin and bullshit like that. Shit. I hate this fucking team. Everything they do is dumb. They moved from San Diego to LA. Dumb. Go visit LA. Find me a single Chargers fan from the Los Angeles County region. You won't. They're all from south of Long Beach. And when you go to Chargers games, it's all the other team's fans because everybody there that is a Chargers fan is like, yeah, I had to drive 2 hours up from fucking San Diego or Orange County. Like, that sucks. Even for LA. So, stupid to move. Won't build their own stadium. Stupid. Yellow jerseys? Stupid. Hire Jim Harbaugh? Stupid. Hire Brandon Staley? Stupid. Never get a wide receiver? Stupid. I will give him this. Jesse Minter is a premier defensive coordinator. Other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Another one of your beloved quarterbacks trapped with a coach that you hate.
They never get coaches that aren't fucking. I didn't say it. I wanted to say it so bad. They don't get coaches that are of sound body and mind.
There you go.
What are some other ways to say mentally ill? They never get coaches who can use metal silverware. They never get coaches whose shoelaces aren't already curly before you tie them. They never get coaches who have free access to the outlets in their houses without those little plastic thingies stuck in them. All the coaches that my favorite quarterbacks get have little plastic thingies over the corners of all the sharp edges in their houses, and they also don't have young children. All of the coaches of my favorite quarterbacks go to the normal kid classes for music class to sing songs about diverse holidays once a week with the normal kids for socialization purposes. Did you guys do that, or was that a Chicago public school thing?
I think that was a Chicago public school thing.
7-year-old me was truly disgusted by some of those people, and I almost feel bad, but it was such a pure thought. They would drool on me, and I didn't like
You were
that.
7.
Yeah, I was 7, and I was like, David drooled on me and also took his pants off. I hate when he's here. Nothing's changed.
It's a
Deshaun
reasonable
Hand,
reaction.
Amir Tart, Otito Ogbanoya, and Tuli Tuipulotu are not a very inspiring defensive line. I also don't know why that's how this is listed. Their line is going to be Khalil Mack, Tuli. Fuck it. I'm sorry, Hawaii. Too many vowels. It's late. That's a decent edge pair. Like, they're both B+ players at this point. Sorry, Khalil Mack. Time comes for us all, Bud. And then speaking of Bud Dupree, mediocre rotational edge. You know, the athleticism's gone. The technique never appeared. Yeah, and the defensive tackles are fine enough, I guess. You'll run on this team, but other than that, how is the play? Linebackers. I freaking love Dion Henley, the Black Ranger. That's not a racial thing. It's what he calls himself. He loves Power Rangers.
Sick.
First time I ever broke a rule, I was 3 years old. I ran away and I went across the street to watch Power Rangers with my older friend, who was not that much older, but he was 5.
Almost twice your age. Better watch out.
Shout out Andrew, the homie, introduced me to Nerf guns and Power Rangers, and I got in a lot of trouble. I can still feel those spankings. Secondary, Dante Jackson. Dante Jackson's just yet another perfect example of, like, I know you're terrible at your job, but you are fast. Yeah, but like that wouldn't work in any other job, right? Like if you were working at, let's say, Chipotle, and you were on the grill, and you cooked everything way faster than everybody else, but actually all of it was not cooked, you'd be gone. And Dante Jackson never goes. And the speed is starting to fade, and he still keeps getting jobs. It's insane. That being said, I trust Jesse Minter to shelter his corners. He also proved that he can make Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart look pretty damn good last year as rookies, just because they're smart and pretty big. As for the safeties, I've never been a fan of Derwin James. He's a linebacker, a really, really amazing one, but he can't really cover. Again, Jesse Minter does creative, cool shit with him, and it works, but like, I don't think Derwin James helps your defense the way that many assume he will. Alohi Gilman, I like. Great value as a 6th-round pick. Like, he's a B player. And then sneaky, I love Elijah Molden. I think that eventually they have to find a way to work him into the starting cornerback trio, but overall, the defense is undersized and mid with a genius coordinator, but that won't mean much when they end up playing the elite offenses of the AFC.
It just feels like a not very good roster that's propped up by a few guys.
There's almost no difference between the Chargers and the Patriots. Elite fucking quarterbacks, mid bullshit around them, moron head coaches who should be teaching gym class to 3rd graders, but they're tough and strong and they wear khakis. To the Chiefs?
To the Chiefs.
All right, let's break down the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to go over, and they're going to win all the games, and they'll probably be one of the last 4 or 5 teams standing. I guess it's impossible to be the 5th team standing. That's not how single elimination playoffs work.
Their win total projection is 11.5.
Yeah, and I lean over yet again because the Chiefs got a lot better, and nobody really noticed. So, Patrick Mahomes, is he overrated? Of course. Was he a top 5 quarterback last year? No, and I don't think he was close. And he's had a lot of bad years kind of sprinkled in the last 5. You want to hear more about it? You want me to really go in depth and like lay my soul bare and just show you that I am a slave to my observations, despite the fact that I know that I will get bashed and I don't like that? Go watch the YouTube video I made like a month ago about him. It's pretty
you to-
fucking in-depth. Let's assume Patrick Mahomes is what he's been for most of the last half decade, a decent but not very good quarterback. A decent but not great quarterback. Like, slightly better than Geno Smith. I know that sounds terrible. I don't give a fuck. It's what it is. You disagree? Make your own motherfucking podcast. Bet your own fucking football games. Mine will win. Yours won't. That being said, doesn't matter. Andy Reid's the best offensive coach of all time, and they have totally replenished this offense without anybody taking the time to notice. So Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, both elite offensive linemen. Josh Simmons, who they stole at the last pick of the first round, was the best offensive tackle in the draft. And if I didn't need a quarterback, I would have drafted him first overall. Like, if I was the GM of every team, Josh Simmons goes second or third, behind only Tyler Shuck and Tet McMillan. And that's only because of positional value. I think Josh Simmons is elite. I think he will be a Pro Bowler in short order and maybe even an All-Pro. He moves like crazy, and he's also got a nasty streak, and he's only getting better. Goddamn. The weak points on the offensive line will be either Jawan Taylor or Jalen Moore, depending on who starts. Both of them are C+, B- guys. More C+. And then Kingsley Suamataia, who has moved into guard and is just like freakishly athletic out of BYU. He's still learning how to play, but you know who's going to coach him up is Andy Reid, and I truly believe in Andy Reid's ability to coach up an offensive lineman. So you've got an overrated but good quarterback with a sick offensive line. Travis Kelce's not Travis Kelce anymore. I hate to say it, but between Robert Tonyan and Noah Gray, they will find production from the tight end position, even when Travis Kelce's not producing based off fumes. Apparently Rashee Rice is immune to jail. You can just try to kill 8 people on the highway and run away with guns and drugs, and it's fine, I guess.
I mean, honestly, it's because he ran away.
Yeah, no. Alex, theoretically, because you're not a lawyer,
right?
Theoretically, if you do a crime, should you stay where you are and wait for the police?
No.
I can neither confirm or deny that you should get the fuck out of there because I'm an attorney and I'm bound to serve the law as an officer of the court. Rashee Rice, something he did worked because the motherfucker's still playing football and he's really good.
Yeah, because the hit and run is a lot better than the reckless driving and driving.
Reckless endangerment, vehicular manslaughter, attempted vehicular manslaughter, etc.
All while having what may be illegal weapons.
I don't think that there are, well, no, it's Texas. So you can have a legal Uzi.
Yeah, and illegal drugs. I feel like those both kick you up a little bit.
I don't know what you're talking about. There was nobody in those cars that crashed. They did it themselves.
Rashee Rice, good football player.
Cars don't kill people. Rashee Rice driving them does. Rashee Rice is a really good slot receiver, and apparently he's going to fucking play. Outside, which is where things get much more interesting, you've got Hollywood Brown. His shoulder is fixed. Hollywood Brown, now this is the problem, is once upon a time when Mahomes was good, the deep ball, well, not good. When Mahomes was great, the deep ball was stunning. He doesn't do that anymore. He throws the deep ball, but it's bad. It's really bad. Hollywood Brown's going to give him as good a chance as anybody could to get that deep ball under control. And to the extent that Hollywood Brown gets injured because he just does, because he's small, keep an eye out for Tyquan Thornton. I know he didn't work with the Patriots because he's way too skinny and doesn't know how to run a route, but the speed and the height are there. And I think that with average or better coaching, there's something to pull out of him still. I just don't think the Patriots had it. And then on the other side, you've got Xavier Worthy, who's just electric with the ball in his hands, has to kind of learn how to play wide receiver, also has to learn how to catch. And hey, maybe Sky Moore will learn how to play wide receiver at some point, but probably not. Jalen Royals is basically this year's Sky Moore too, like very similar playing styles, draft Twitter darling. I kind of like him. So the Chiefs are loaded with very interesting pieces at wide receiver and 3 legitimately good options. So you got a great offensive line. You got good, deep, and interesting wide receivers. You got the best offensive coach of all time. You've got the best tight end of all time, although he is a husk of himself.
Yeah. And
one of my favorite late round picks, one of my favorite sneaky values, and somebody that I think you should keep an eye on for fantasy football as well, Brashard the motherfucker Smith. Now, they call him Brashard the motherfucker Smith because I just made it up right now. But I goddamn love his game. He was a wide receiver at University of Miami, a speedster, great ball skills, just didn't really run routes that well, like for a wide receiver. Shifted to running back, and his elusiveness was crazy with SMU. Still really good hands out of the backfield, very natural catcher of the ball. This guy is he's gonna destroy worlds. He's gonna be the new Shady McCoy. Getting him the ball or Bryant Westbrook, get him the ball in space, swing routes, wheel routes, Texas routes, shit that Andy Reid loves to do anyway, right? It's a match made in heaven. I think that he will quickly ascend the depth chart and overtake Isaiah Pacheco, and suddenly this offense has absolutely no holes whatsoever. So, any thoughts on the offense?
I mean, nothing really different than you. I think the offensive line is going to be really good. I like Josh Simmons a lot as well. The wide receivers have a lot of speed and they have a lot of open field ability, which when Andy Reid is the coordinator and Patrick Mahomes, even if he's not what he's supposed to be, he still can operate that offense pretty damn well.
Yeah.
They should be able to, again, attack from a lot of different levels with a lot of different guys. And when they want to run the ball, they're going to be able to do it. So it's going to be it should be a really good offense. And if Mahomes recaptures any of his like true MVP form, it goes back to like, oh, wow, this offense might be one of the best we've ever seen.
Yeah. Like if Mahomes is a B+ quarterback, Super Bowl, because the offense around him is that fucking good and the coach is that amazing. Dude, it's not fair that they let Andy Reid also have Matt Nagy. Like these are two really fucking good offensive minds and they're just hanging out together every day. That's dumb. God damn it, Bears.
I was about to say, I bet you Matt Nagy would take another job. I just don't think he's getting that many calls.
I don't think he would take that many jobs right now.
I think he would still take a decent amount. Like, I don't think he would go, like, I don't think he wants to do the Bears again, where he tries to, like, rebuild a team.
Yeah, I think he would need, like, a bona fide stud quarterback.
Yeah.
Not fucking around, because he's proven he doesn't know how to pick them.
Yeah. But then, yeah, regardless, he's there and he does a great job.
Okay, the KCD. The defensive line continues to kind of just be Chris Jones and then sometimes George Karlaftis.
I mean, I like Mike Pennell for run game. He's a big block.
Yeah, but they kind of did this on purpose. But their entire defensive line is kind of just defensive tackles. Like Karlaftis is a pass rushing 3 technique who plays end.
Right.
Chris Jones is a 3 technique who occasionally plays end. Pennell's a 2-gapper. And Dana is an undersized 3 technique who plays defensive end. And then Charles Omenihu is a 5 technique who sometimes plays defensive end. And then Felix Anudike Uzoma is a speed rusher who doesn't play.
Hey, what about Jerry Tillery, though?
One of these days, Jerry Tillery is going to get what he deserves, and he will sit in an alleyway while it happens. I said sit, not kneel. Linebackers, Drew Tranquil, he's out there doing shit. Nick Bolton, really good. And then rotational linebacker, Jeff Bassa. Jeff Bassa's really out there doing shit because he doesn't really know where he's going or what he's going to do when he gets there, but he gets there fast. He just runs around. Shit, no. I actually just slandered Jeff Bassa to hell. I was describing Chris Paul out of Ole Miss. Jeff Bassa's the one out of Oregon who is fast. He gets lost in coverage, but he is smart in the run game. Like his run fits are good. He's useful. I like Bassa a little bit. The problem with grading so many goddamn players is that sometimes I have an encyclopedic knowledge of the wrong guy.
Yeah, that could throw you off a little bit, but I mean, you were still mostly right. You got it done.
It's also midnight. And I pulled a 13-hour day today. So I'm going to fuck up sometimes, okay? But I'm also going to say funny shit and win bets. Secondary. Secondary's getting bleak. Just like every year, it feels like the Chiefs have lost one more really good defensive back. And I feel like they're kind of out. Like their starting corners are going to be on the outside. Christian Fulton, who he might be in phase, but just throw it at him. He's not going to see the ball. And then Jalen Watson, who's replacement level. Again, great value for a 7th rounder. Awesome, but you don't want him starting. Trent McDuffie is elite in the slot, and he can move outside. Brian Cook is smart, but not very good. Jaden Hicks, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are.
Me either.
Like, he played a little bit last year, but he's a second-year player who's a 4th-round pick, and I never watched him in college. Mike Edwards, their 3rd safety, dog shit. One of the worst coverage safeties I've seen. It's not looking good. So I think the defense will take a pretty significant step back, but it's so classic that for the last few years, Mahomes hasn't played that well, but the defense has been sick. And now this year, the defense is going to take a step back, but the offense is probably going to be sick.
Yeah. I mean, they still have Spags, too, which, like, you're always going to get a little bit more out of.
Yeah. He's one of, like, 6 defensive coordinators that actually raise the level of the defense.
Yeah. And I think they have like a good combination of power and speed on the defense where they theoretically can still do a lot and kind of like run with any offense.
Dude, I ignored Leo Chenal.
Yeah, I know.
I love Leo Chenal.
I know you do.
Especially for this defense, because this defense has nobody that really truly rushes the passer. Like Chris Jones does when he plays three technique, but because of the way their defense works, he often doesn't get to. So, they move him outside, they move him around, they don't let him just do the thing and get after the passer. Plus, Chris Jones getting older, fucking 32 or some shit. Leo Chenal is a power chode. He's kind of short and he's probably about as wide as he is tall, but the motherfucker is just strong. He is built like I wish I was. And he's also pretty good in cover. Like he moves well. So he's kind of a perfect chess piece for Spags in that he can and should blitz him a lot. But if he drops him in coverage, it is not a liability. And that just gives him so much flexibility. So yeah, I mean this team's gonna win 13 games again.
Yeah, I mean
Plus they play Tennessee and Indianapolis
playing the South
and the Giants, and they're better than fucking everybody anyway.
Yeah,
the Chiefs are awesome.
Yeah, they're an incredible roster with an incredible coach.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like it's really important to remember. Yeah, I spent most of the summer talking about how Patrick Mahomes is not the guy that he is believed to be. He's not near this top quarterback of all time conversation. He's not even in the top 5 of his own era right now. But he's still good, certainly good enough. He's a franchise quarterback, and he's got an elite the best all-time coach. Now, I didn't watch Bill Walsh, so I don't know, but certainly the best since 2000. And he's got really good players around him in an era where all the good quarterbacks have head coaches who aren't allowed to have doorknobs on their doors. all the good quarterbacks have fucking coaches. They do.
You shocked me with that one. I wasn't expecting it.
It had to come out. It is what it is, man. I'm sorry. I wish there were better words, but I don't know them. Somebody teach me some words for a person whose brain works very, very poorly, and it's very frustrating to watch them try to operate, and people keep on giving them chances to operate and paying them millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to operate, and they can't fucking do it. Their brain just doesn't work, and you're just watching them thinking, please do the most obvious fucking thing I've ever heard of, and they can't because they're dumb and emotional and immature and not prepared for the adult world, despite being adults and often old adults. It's like their developmental process was somehow slowed and delayed relative to their peers. Is there like an Italian or Latin word that could help me explain what I'm trying to get at with this stunted, slowed down process of development and growth?
All I know is that you need to go to bed.
I do.
You need
to wake up tomorrow and do this shit all over again too. It's going to be incredible. I'm going to get on a fucking plane. I love life. Yeah, so we're only doing the AFC West today. We'll save the NFC West for next week because it's so excruciatingly boring. I mean, no, it's good. You should listen next week. But yeah, like, again, we have no bets on season win totals. Like, I guess if I had to pick one, I'd go Chiefs over. But Justin Herbert will drag the Chargers to 9 wins. The Raiders will be decent.
Yeah. I think Kansas City 11 over 11.5 is probably the best one out of the group. I don't know if I still would want to do it just because, like, how long can they keep doing it before key people start getting complacent? Or
20 years.
I don't know. I mean,
you know what happens if Andy Reid gets complacent?
Not Andy Reid as much, but like the actual players.
If Andy Reid gets complacent, he hands it off to Matt Nagy. If Patrick Mahomes gets complacent, Andy Reid takes care of him. If Travis Kelce fucks off and just transes between the races for their entire regular season, he's there in the playoffs and they'll make do. Like, the offensive line's young. The wide receivers have never won shit. There's too much infusion of young talent, and there's too much, like, redundancy of excellence for there to really be a drop-off.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. And, like, we've seen it before with, like, Tom Brady teams where they just keep being excellent every year. But I think that is kind of rare. I mean, it's why you don't see teams repeat that often, even when they have great rosters. Because, I don't know, I think it's hard to just be bought in and have everything go right for you every year. But they're still really good.
They're so good.
They could lose 5 games and still hit the over.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like, they play Philly and Baltimore, they play Buffalo, they play the Chargers twice. If they lose every single one of those games, they go over.
Yeah.
All right. that about wraps up the AFC West. I'm going to go to bed so I can wake up in 4 hours and go back to work.
You're a brave person.
I have to lift weights in my office because there's not enough room to do it in my dinky New York temporary studio. Life is sick right now, but at least I'm goddamn paid, and at least in 2 days, I get to watch football for like 10 minutes before I realize this is not football, and then turn it off in disgust, and then ask my girlfriend what she wants to eat for dinner.
Can't wait.
It's going to be fucking glorious. So, between now and Thursday, try to bet on the Hall of Fame game. Bet on the Lions if you can get a decent line. If not, live bet it. See who seems like they're trying. It's the Hall of Fame game. Effort is all that matters. As far as the AFC West goes, the Chiefs are still fucking good, and I struggled really hard with my language today. Nobody will see this or hear this because we were deplatformed 2 seconds in, but God forbid you did. Have a blessed night. And on Thursday, please bet on football games. Hasta.